Board. Boom, bap. All right, guys. So happy Monday morning. I am very, very excited about today. Obviously, I live in an excited state because that's what I choose for my life and for my business. And so, you guys, we just got back from Elevate, which was an amazing, amazing event held in Santa Cruz by Jeremy Larson and his team. We'll talk a little bit about that in just a couple moments because I think that there are some great takeaways that your team members, the people that we know that are on this call, that I want you to hear from them and hear from them about what they're committed to taking action on in the next 90 days. So let's do this. Without further ado, I'm actually going to turn it over to Omar. And Omar, I'm going to have you, big dog, just take us out on the field for this beautiful, beautiful Monday morning. Probably come back to you in a few minutes about takeaways, so on and so forth. But let's hear from you, big dog. Take the team out on the field on this amazing August 29th. Let's turn it over to you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Elias. I've actually been kind of waiting for this moment to take everyone on the field. But I hope everyone had a great weekend. To those who were at Elevate, I hope that you guys were able to take some things that resonated with you and some big takeaways, and you're able to put massive action towards your business and your operation, as well as your everyday life. To those that weren't, I hope you're able to pick up some gems that will be dropped today in coaching. And remember, if you hear no, it just stands for next opportunity. So let's start the week off strong.
Ooh, you know what? I've never heard that acronym before. So what does no stand for?
Next opportunity.
I love this. I love this, brother. Well, it's really good to see you here, and it was really great to see you there. I remember at one point, Omar's like, oh, we got to get on the road. It's my mom's birthday, and happy birthday to mom. Hopefully she had an amazing birthday. And I was like, this is something you're probably going to want to stay for because John Cheplak had just started speaking. And so I want to come back to you in a few minutes, kind of hear what your full takeaways were and see if any of what he said or whatever other people said resonated with you. But it was a really, really powerful session. And we had an opportunity to speak and share. And we talked a lot about these two words. And I spoke about it in Southern California. I'm going to continue to speak about it in its growth and contribution. You have to look at your business right now and say, how am I truly, truly growing? What am I doing to fill my cup? And what am I doing to contribute in our space? Every single top producer, broker owner, leader, what you're hearing is that the more that they're contributing to their community, the more that their business is growing. Right? It's not that, oh, I'm going to market and I'm going to prospect at a high level. Obviously, we need to do that, but it's making things a little bit easier by pouring into our communities. And so I heard that from every single person that was on stage this last week. And so growth and contribution are going to be two things that I'm going to talk about heavily over the next 90 days. You guys, I want you to write this down. November 27th. Write it down. Remember that date. Here's what happens. In 90 days from now, it is November 27th, right? So I want you to think about that. To get somebody in contract, does it happen in December? Absolutely. But what happens in December? People go traveling, they're spending time with their family, and it might be more of a challenging time to get somebody in contract. You have to focus on the next 90 days to make sure that you have a great holiday season. So that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about sprints. I want to talk about the small wins that you're going to have from now until November 27th. So 90 days, you guys. And I'm going to turn it over to Will in a second because he has some great takeaways. But I don't know if you guys know who this guy is. Eckhart Tolle. He's actually doing a reading in Oakland in a couple weeks. I bought a ticket just to sit in the auditorium and listen. And I literally just opened this. And I think a lot of us are challenged with this and we battle with this internally. So I wanted to share this with you. Whether you're able, whenever you're able, have a look inside yourself to see whether you're unconsciously creating conflict between the inner and the outer, between your external circumstances and that moment, where you are, who you're with, and what you are doing. A lot of times inside, we feel like, I want to be a top producer. Oh, I'm going to crush it. I feel great. I feel this. I feel, you say all these things to yourself, but then you look on the outside and what is actually happening, right? Well, I'm not living in my purpose. I'm not living in the things that I said that I'm going to do. So there's this conflict, right? I know I want to be a top producer. I know I want to show up. I know I want to create the best lifestyle for my children, for my family, for my future, and give myself a way out of this industry. But what happens is that externally something happens. I think too much. I'm waking up too late. I'm drinking too much, whatever it is, right? So there's a conflict. There's a conflict in what you believe in yourself can truly, truly be possible and then what the external factors are. We sometimes let procrastination stand in our way. We let unorganization stand in our way, all these things. So you guys, when we talk and when I hear John Cheplack talk, it's about alignment, right? If you say, Omar, that I am a man of purpose that is driven to contribute, to love, to inspire, to help, and to reach more people than I ever humanly can, then nothing should stand in your way. Like you should be walking in that purpose every single day. And that's what like things, when I hear John Cheplack talk, I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not the director of sales and coaching. I am on this planet to inspire and to lead others to take massive action in their lives. And so my actions externally every single day need to show up in that way. So you guys, I'm pumped. I'm excited, but this isn't about me. This is about you guys. And I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what some of your takeaways were from this last weekend, what you learned, but more importantly, like what are you committed to implementing in your business over the next 90 days? November 27th is right around the corner, you guys. I want everyone, regardless if you celebrate Christmas or not, I want you guys to have an amazing holiday season. That if you want to take 2 weeks off in December to go travel to see your family, to see your parents, to see whoever, and to relax before you turn that calendar, I want that for you guys. I truly, truly do. So I want to hear from you, Will. Will, you had some moments this weekend. You had some moments that were impactful to you. You had some moments that were vulnerable and you had some ahas. So Will, you've been in this game for a while. Last quarter, just so you guys know, Will did 15 transactions. He's been in this business for 17 years. So he's not new, but he's growing. And so Will, I wanted to hear from you, brother. If you can, start us off with your high-level takeaways and what you're committed to creating in your business over the course of the next 90 days. So I want to turn it over to you.
Good morning, everybody. So I mean, I've got to lead by saying that really this weekend you had some of the top trainers in the world, some of the top, I mean, really, if I'm not mistaken, the top 3 top producing EXP teams in the country, which are all part of the same downline family, of which, of course, Fast is one of them. And these are powerhouses. You know, these people are not bullshit. These guys and women are easily making over $1 million a pop. Everybody that was down there per year, if not way more. So, you know, I haven't gone to real estate expos in years. A lot of that had to do with my own ego. Alpha male, prior military. I always felt super uncoachable. I mean, just ask Chris Barsenis if he's on the call. I know what to do to get shit done, and I've got my own life going. You know, so that's always kind of been my position on it. What, quote unquote, what am I going to learn at a real estate expo? Since joining Fast, I have to be honest with all you guys, I really had to humble myself and put myself back in line as a producer. I made a commitment to Kenny, to Elias, and to Chris Barsenis from SAC to fall back into a production role and do what I can to support the company. So that being said, I'm much more open to coaching. I jump on these coaching calls every time I can. I'm slammed with work and raising a child on my own full time. But I really make a commitment to try to be on these calls. And to go back to the last real estate expo I did, which is probably 4 years ago, was Real Estate Wealth Expo in the Bay Area. Tony Robbins, who I had some experience with, stood over top of me and literally yelled, looking down in my eyes, "What is the one thing you need to change so that you are on a different course in 5 years?" And I knew what it was then, but I didn't change it. And you know, for me personally, we're going to go to a place on this call and talk about extreme vulnerability. Okay. This was the theme with the VIP dinner that we had after Elevate. And it was touched on during the expo. A lot of people, imposter syndrome is another thing that was touched upon in the expo. People fake it until they make it, right? Maybe not being able to afford the car, but buying the car and you know, balling out to look good to everybody to try to get deals. That's some old shit. That is an old paradigm. And if you're not tuned into the culture at Fast Real Estate, that shit doesn't fly with anybody here. People are going to call you out on that shit. And if they don't, they're going to see right fucking through it. So what we were talking about really is It's part of the new marketing approach that I'm taking with my video series. Extreme vulnerability, sharing who you are, what is your story, where did you come from? It's going to help you recruit better. Everyone's trying to build vertical integrations at EXP, right? We want to get some of that income from bringing people in underneath us. And more importantly, we're trying to close more deals, right? You're going to connect to more clients when people understand really who you are, what your struggles are, and where you came from. We are a largely minority company. There are a fuckload of stories in this company. People have come from struggles. They're in real estate full time to support their families, to make lasting change, impact to their communities, et cetera. If you don't share that with other people, you're not going to make those deep penetrating connections that allow you to build a more robust client pool, better referral business, hustling less leads, right? Because you're developing these impactful relationships. You're connecting with agents. I spent a huge time of I'm still in Santa Cruz. I'm at the pool here now working. But a lot of my weekend this weekend has been spent talking to people about fast real estate and EXP. People saw me at the convention. They want to talk about what we do that's different. Those questions are only being asked of me because I opened up and shared with people. And I'll touch on, there was a dinner later that night and Elias told me to do whatever I can to be in that room and helped me get in there with some of these power players in the evening. And what was really special for me is there was a moment where all of these top people and top trainers in the country were opening up and getting vulnerable. And they were basically asking, there was a panel after dinner, and ask these out of the elite there, ask the panel some questions to try to take a little bit more out of your day, and there's a trainer there named John Cheplack who trains some of the top people in the world. And John shared during the expo that he put down drinking at age 41. This is a guy who was already making $1 million a year 15 years ago, was a powerhouse in real estate for 20 years, top producer in Lake Tahoe, Chase International. The guy's accolades are out of this world. But he felt that he was not going to break through into multi-million per year unless he put down alcohol. The guy is wild, super alpha male, and it wasn't serving his best self, And the reality is, for me, when Tony Robbins stood over me, I knew that it was alcohol holding me back. And if anybody knows me, you know that I can get wild and have fun. I don't have any addiction problem with alcohol or anything like that, but I can go hard in the paint. And if I've made some money and I've been working hard, I could probably spend $1,000 that night. And I'll be honest with everybody on this call, if you've partied with me before and you know that I'm going hard, I am not at my top operating capacity for 2 to 3 days. If you know me, you know that I meditate twice a day. Did I meditate for 2 or 3 days? Am I in my balanced space? I'm a heavyweight dude. I'm overweight. I have to work my ass off for that. Did I work out or go for a run? Did I hop on a coaching call? Or is the truth that I slept in until 9:30 that morning or took my kid to school and then went back and went to bed? Was I utilizing my brain power to come up with solutions to put more of my clients into contract, or reach out to people and do what I need to do to move the ball forward to have more deals in the next month? I'll tell you guys straight up, that answer is no. And that's for 2 to 3 days after one night of partying for me. Let's just say we talked about really breaking shit down to math, right? If you're going to make change in your business, let's say I work 60 hours a week and I go hard one night a week when someone's watching my kid, and I can go out and cut loose and have fun. If I'm not performing well for 2 days, and let's be honest, if I was cutting out that evening to kick it, I'm not at my best the day that I go out. Let's just say 2 days a week times 52 weeks a year. 104 days of my year, I'm not at the best. 356 fucking days a year. So I'm a powerhouse. I am not at where I should be right now. I believe in myself enough to close 100 units next year for fast real estate and maybe more. But am I going to close 100 units? Am I going to break through to that North Lake Tahoe market that has $10 to $100 million listings 1/4 fucking mile from my house? Am I going to do all those things or be seen as a parent who's on the Dow and my daughter's new school in North Lake Am I going to make a punch to the community, make any kind of lasting impact, and be seen as a powerhouse in the next year if alcohol is tuning me out for 1/3 of my life in the next year? And for me, that was the big takeaway, right? Identify at least one major thing in your life that has to change. And not just identify it, guys. If I would have shared what Tony Robbins brought to the top of my mind years ago with everybody in my inner circle and had accountability partners for it, we wouldn't be talking about it today. But I didn't. I just worked hard, and I'm able to look good by my production. I am a good person. I work hard. I do shit in the community. I close deals. I look okay on the surface. If you know me deeper, you know that there's some struggles that I've got going on, some fucked up shit in my past, and I'm working to get through that stuff. But Elias, I told this weekend, I said, you know what? I've been very uncoachable in my past. And Elias, I am opening up my fucking whole story to you because I enjoy having accountability. There is no bullshit. People were at Elevate this weekend, and you could tell I'm fired up about this stuff because I'm so fucking happy to be on Fast and have the resources that we have. People are paying $120,000 a fucking year to have the coaches that you guys are on a call with right now. Elias is in those coaching programs. You guys don't even know that Elias and Kenny are being coached by some of the top coaches in the world so that they can bring you free coaching 3 times a week. How many of our 320 plus agents are at coaching once a week, right? We have to take advantage of that shit and be accountable. You've got to identify the things in your life that you need to make changes on and take massive action on that shit now. I'll tell you guys, no bullshit. One of the top trainers in the country was trying to sell me on coaching the other night. And Elias knows this. I'm not going to put out names or call anybody out on shit. But at that dinner, that one person was so intoxicated and so negative that it upset a room of about 40 people who paid $7.50 a plate when they were shooting down progress and conversation over what changes people were going to make in their life and stealing opportunities from people. Do I want to be a baller who hasn't made those changes 5 years down the road and get by on my money and the saline that I have parked in front of my house? I'm telling you guys the answer is fuck no, right? I want to lead from the front. I want to lead by example. I want to be a power producer who makes change in my community. And
Love it.
I'm able to do that by opening up. So make massive action, identify that thing. And Elias, I think it would be kind of fun by maybe training this Friday, people that are on this call, for people on Friday to share what that one thing is and have accountability in their own team and share what that one thing is and what is the plan to change that shit so that it has an impact on your business and so that everybody who gives a fuck about you on this team can help hold you accountable. The people from Sierra Bay on my team, me and Chris's team, that came to Fast, know that I'm speaking truth and that I'm being vulnerable. I'm shaking right now with how much I just shared.
Man,
I have to change to fucking make an impact. And I'm not going to close 100 deals unless I do it. So that's my biggest takeaway from it. It doesn't matter how fucking big you are. Are you going to change the shit that you need to become your best? That's my question.
Man, I absolutely love this. And Will, you know, the fact that you've opened up, man, I really appreciate it because here's the thing, you guys, like simple math, that's 104 days, right? Like there's 104 days of his life that he doesn't get back, that he took away from his business, that he wasn't playing at his peak performance. When we say that we are people of purpose, I'm a person of this, I'm a person of love, light, energy, and I'm ready to go inspire the world, but I spend 2 nights a week in bed because of whatever reasons, or I'm not consistent with my habits, or I don't have an organized CRM, or I don't make my follow calls, or I don't post on social media. If your thoughts are to inspire, encourage, and uplift and motivate and do all these things, well, how would we know? Like, just show up and do the things. So, Will, I really, really appreciate you sharing. I want to hear from 2 other people. I want to go over to Joe Ellen. Joe Ellen, you were at Elevate. She got excited. Okay. I didn't know I was going to call on her. And then I'm going to go to Aaron Grace, and then we'll wrap up with Omar if we have time, because I didn't want to stop Will. If we have time, we'll continue on. But Joe Ellen, let's hear from you. You were at Elevate this weekend. Tell me
I'm
exactly.
so happy. I'm so blessed that I got to see you and Kenny speak on stage. And I think, we attracted a lot of agents that day because they seen how powerful our team was and how much we love you guys. So, I mean, that was amazing. It was so great to meet Will in person and a few other people. I was glad to have a hug and hear how tiny I was in person, not this big person on Instagram. I mean, on Zoom. But anyways, I sat next to Sarah and Danielle and I'm like, I'm getting up at 4:30 tomorrow morning. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to eat healthy. I built my calendar out. I'm going to, take care of that one thing, which may be like too much wine during the week too, and don't want to get up at 4 a.m. and go work out. Then it sets your day back. But you know what? I'm committed. I know that I'm a leader. I know someone else has it worse than I do, and I can help somebody. And I have a lot of wisdom, a lot of experience, a lot of skill in this industry, but also just growing as a human being and where I've come from and where I am. So my takeaway was someone has it worse than I do. Give up that one thing that's holding you back. And also, you're coached by the best of the best. I feel like you guys are the best of the best. So just to be in the room with all of you, I already know my network and where I can be. If John Cheplack can do it, if Brittany can do it, so can I.
Ooh, God, I love this. I absolutely love this.
Thank you.
I love the excitement. I love the excitement. Aaron, let's go from you. And Joellen, you are a leader and you're showing up in a big way in your market. You're showing up for the team. You're inspiring the team. So absolutely love this. Aaron, you got to spend some time in Dallas this past week at Build. You got to be in the room with some amazing, incredible producers inside of the entire ecosystem for EXP. So I want to hear from you, Aaron. What were some of your takeaways from this last week?
Great. Hi, everyone. I just wanted to share a little bit about how it went last week. Tony Robbins, obviously amazing. All of the people there showed up and showed us how to come back and take action. But the first thing and the thing that I think was the most important was the shift. So they definitely talked about the shift, and they basically said, this is going to be a new road for some people that may have been in the industry for the last 5 or 7 years. Like, production is going to be key. So a couple of the things that they talked about is making sure that your CRM is working for you. So dialing into that, ramping up your messages and your video. Video was huge. They talked about, if you're not making video, start making video and being authentic. So something like Will said, just going out and being authentic, but plugging in and taking uncomfortable action. So I think, the team and I have been with Team Fast for about a month now. And so that's one of the things that we're hearing over and over and over: take massive action. So take uncomfortable action. Tony talked a lot about energy and space and the company that you keep. So I think that following Will, like, that is super important, because the life that you're going to live, you have to be with people around you that are going to be supportive and going to be there for you, right? They talked a little bit about, so again, the recession and shift, they're educating your buyers, educating your sellers, and then just really increasing your discipline and the level of activity that you're going to take. So take this time to invest in your fundamental skills. But I loved it. So it was all about, for me, I took more about the production end of it. And obviously, like Will said, me and the girls, we took a vulnerable step to join a team. We had created our team, and to be on this team has really, really helped us just kind of level up and motivated us. And I know the people that are coming on the team are super excited as well. And then there was talk about growth and, your potential at EXP. So if you're not tapped into that, you really gotta look into, revenue share and how that's going to affect your life moving forward. My direct sponsor is Brent Gove. So I get a lot of resources from him and special time from him. And he put us in a room this week with, 100 people. And it was Glenn Sanford, Gene Frederick, all of the major players, right? And one of the things that he said, and that I come back to, is like, in that room of 100 people in his suite, like, we will never be that small again. And I like to think that about Team Fast. Like, we're 300 people right now. Let's work on making it 600 people in the next year, or 1,000 people. So for me, I took away a lot of the possibilities, and I think that's available for all of us.
God, I love this. You guys imagine this, and it's not something that hasn't been done. It's being done right now. Like imagine $1.5 million every month. I know it's crazy, right? But like there's people like Gene Fredericks, there's people like Brent Gove, and there's people like Jake Hinder, and there's people in our environment that are doing that, and they're every single month. And you know what they're still doing? They're still playing big. They're still contributing. They're still coming to these events. They're still talking. They're still getting on stage. They're still hopping on calls and trainings, right? Imagine that, $1.5 million every single month. Every single month. Like my mom will be living fat. Our family will be living fat. So I love this, Aaron. I love this. Let's talk about.
I do want to add real quick, EXPCon and Cabo. So we've already registered for Cabo. So if you guys are going, let's like get a good group there.
Yes, I love this. I love this. Aaron, I'm gonna have you put yourself back on mute because it is get a little background noise. But if you have anything else to contribute, take yourself off of mute. Once again, you guys, I want you guys to look around the screen, and I want you to look at Edward really quick. And Edward, I know you're having a moment, my brother, but like let's reflect for just a moment for the people that weren't on the call earlier. Like, dude is getting dialysis right now, and like he caught my eye again. And like, dude, people make excuses like why they don't show up. Right. And like, here you are, bro. Like this story needs to be told, like what you were going through, what you put yourself through, and what you were committed to no matter what, because you want to help other people. Like he is in the office, he's getting dialysis. Like, man, dude, like I just can't help but to get super emotional every time I look at the screen, because there's people on here that won't even turn their camera on for whatever reason, bro. And like, here you are. So mad love and respect to you, my man. Let's do this. We're going to talk about a CRM before we go over to Omar. And I wanted to do this exercise with you because it was done for us live and in person. And I just want to pick one person and just have some dialogue with me. Let's go to Nicole Penland. Nicole Penland, right now, how many leads do you have in your CRM?
About 1,000, I would say.
About 1,000? Mm-hmm. Okay, so here's a question. This goes for everybody. How many documented touch points should you have through your CRM for those 1,000 leads?
You're asking me or you're asking everybody?
No, I'm asking you.
How many touch points should I have?
Recorded, documented touch points, conversation, text, emails in your CRM.
Well, there should be at least 2 to 3 for everyone, but I'm still working on that.
Okay, so I'm gonna put you guys on game right now. This is the number. 24,000, and here's why. If Nicole has 1,000 leads in her CRM, this is the era where you guys are going to manage everything that you're doing via your CRM. 24 touch points that are documented and recorded in your CRM. How many texts, how many emails, how many calls. Then you'll look at everything. We've had these coaching calls before, right? We've had these coaching calls. Then we can say, all right, let's pull up your CRM. All right, cool. Look at all these touch points, recorded calls. This text message was sent. This email got opened. Everything has data around it. Now what we can do is we can say, okay, Nicole, show me all of your recorded calls that you made to your database. Cool. Now let's put our headphones on and let's listen to what you're actually saying to a consumer, because the actions are there, but most of us are not even doing remotely that amount of touch points to our consumers. And this comes from some of the top players. This was said multiple times. This is said from Sunit. Now, Sunit has the #1 team in all of California for units sold. Then John Cheplak at the end of the day said 24 times for each lead. And that is not people that you are just following up with touching base. You're sending a text message, you're making a call, you're sending an email, you send them a video, and you're storing that all in your CRM. Stop doing everything from your phone. This is not your CRM. Be able to look and track the data 24 times each lead that you have in your system. Hence why we're doing a database boot camp. We're going to talk about that in a couple moments. But Couple things that I heard from Sani. Quit saying this. Have you seen anything online that you like lately? And I'm just checking in. Those are two comments that you make because you don't have them in your CRM, you don't have them in Real Scout. If I have them in Real Scout, Adrian, I saw that you just saw 123 Main Street, 125 Main Street, 126 Main Street just came online. Also, one of my team members, Lucy, has a coming soon that is in that same area of Fremont. I'm setting up my calendar for today as well as tomorrow. Which day would be best for you to go view those homes? Does that sound a little bit different versus, hey, Antoine, just checking in, see anything you like over the weekend? It's going to run flat. So quit saying, have you seen anything online that you'd like to see? Have you seen anything online lately, or just checking in? Versus what I just told you. Check out this article. Send them a market update. My team has a coming soon listing hitting this Friday. Here are the details. Let me know if you want to see that today or Friday. I believe that we are not following up enough times. The 24 touch point of documented text, videos, emails, calls, notes, dialogues is going to set your business in a complete different direction. Because what was John saying the other day? I loved it. Like, I don't want to bother the consumer. I called them yesterday. You know whose pocket you're selling out of? You're selling out of your own pocket. Unless they told you, kick rocks, don't bother me. If you're standing from a position of serving, value, contribution, providing light, giving them something that's going to give them an advantage in this marketplace, then you're never bothering them. I loved what he said. He said, it's not spam. It is the level of the value that you were giving to a consumer, right? I'm not spamming them if I'm constantly providing value, right? Spam isn't the frequency we send. It's in the value, right? It's in the value. And I love that. Jeff, thank you for putting that. I have chills talking about that. You guys, stop checking in with people. All the stuff that you have. Okay, listen, food for thought right now. Go to the market updates channel in Slack right now. Look at the articles. Read an article. Take that link, put it in a text message, follow it up with a video, be like, Omar, I just saw this video about the market in Oakland. I wanted to share it with you. Let me know your thoughts. I'm setting up my calendar for today and tomorrow. Hey, I saw these 3 properties. Here's the links down below. I'm setting up my property tours for today and tomorrow. I'd like to get you out to see these homes. Is now a good time to find a deal? Yes. Is it always going to last? No. Right? So you guys have this ability to manage consumer behaviors or manage your approach based on consumer behaviors. If you're not putting them in your CRM, you're not putting it in Real Scout, I promise you guys, we're all missing opportunities. 24 touch points for 1 lead. That means Nicole Penman should have 24,000 communications in her CRM. And I promise you, if she did that, her numbers would go up because of the science and the data. So I was moved by that. That's why we're doing this database bootcamp. Omar, let's hear from you, brother. Let's hear from, 24 points weekly. Omar, let's hear from you. Key takeaways from this session. I want to hear what's on your mind and what you're going to take action on.
Yeah, so to piggyback off of what Aaron was saying, like leveraging the team, I reposted that video that Patrick made that you guys shared at Elevate. And I kid you guys not, I was on 2 phone calls yesterday morning, 45 minutes with agents that aren't getting like the bare minimum, things that were abundant in Team Fast. So leverage the team and just literally like talk to them as people. They're lacking the resources that are the bare minimum to us. So that was really cool. So I have them connected with Lauren this week and just leveraging the team. But Elevate, yeah, it's Sani, Krista, and Dan were like all dropping like sales gems that I'm totally implementing into my business. But I'm so happy that I bumped into you right before I left because I think I wrote the most from, is it Cheplick?
Yeah, John Cheplick.
And kind of to
and like, okay, that was a hard moment for me, okay? And like, I'm not trying to be like, well, you need to stay. Like, no, like you're here by your own choice. Like he responded to a message. I gave him a ticket. He drove his ass out there, but he said, oh, I got to go because it's my mom's birthday. I didn't want to be a dick and be like, bro, you need to stay here. I was like, you probably should stay because this is going to be really good. And I just like turned back around to face the speaker, but I'm glad. So let's hear from you, man.
Yeah, so my 2 big takeaways from him were submitting to your mission. And honestly, he said, because I'm not sure if anyone knows, but I'm about to get licensed for a year and I haven't had a single deal. That's because of the way I was operating my business at first and my personal life. But lately it's been like imposter syndrome. I'm like, oh my God, I haven't closed. I don't belong in this industry. But I've added that as my non-negotiable every day. Like, no, I do belong in this industry and I do take massive action on the daily. It's just not here yet. And he said, submitting to your mission and not letting it, or what was it? If you have something special, the only way to keep it special is if you give it away. And that resonated with me so much because I genuinely love real estate and I love like the opportunities it gives to people. And I was like, that's my special. And the only way I can keep it special is by giving it away. And that's by educating people about it and like educating agents or helping them elevate their business. So that resonated with me so much. And I like just took that and I'm not sure if anyone follows me on Instagram, but I went straight to my mom's birthday party and I was like, all right, how can I use what I took away from Elevate and start implementing it every day? And I believe it was Sani. He said, anyone that you ever bump into or talk to about real estate, that should be a contact in your CRM, like immediately. So I was like, I'm going to go into this and I'm going to get 5 contacts added into my CRM. Didn't get to meet anyone or everyone's already in my CRM, but there was one person that I've never seen before. I was like, I'm going to go over there, introduce myself. Turns out they're like city council members. I'm invited to like a gala now. I got offered a table for like at community events. And I was like, that was it. Like, that is why I went to Elevate today, to hear Sanit speak and encourage me to get out of my comfort zone and speak to people. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see where this kind of goes. But thank you again for inviting me, and that was awesome.
I love this. And let's just have this for people that have been in this game for a while. If you guys can put down in the chat, what was the longest that you went without having a transaction? And I'll give you some food for thought here, Omar. Julie went 10 months without a transaction, right? And look at Julie's the numbers agent. Jen went 9 months without a transaction, right? So when you think about these people that are playing really, really big in our space, like, it's okay, but don't stop doing the work. Don't stop believing, because I promise you, it's like you keep mining, keep mining. You can either put that on your shoulder and walk away like, oh, there's no diamonds in this cave, or that one next pick. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, look at all the diamonds I hit, right? But that is a culmination of all the work that you've been doing. And bro, we see you. Look at down below, man. 8 months, 4 months, 6 months, 5 months, 2 years, bro. 2 years. Right? And look at where Lamont's at. Lamont had 4 escrows just a couple months ago at one time, right? 5 months, 8 months, 4 months, over a year, 6 months, bro. The past year is different. So I love that you shared that, and you're not alone. Thank you for being so vulnerable. Jeff Phillips, let's hear from you. Then I'm gonna come over to you, Adrian, and we're gonna start to come full circle in this conversation. Jeff Phillips, let's hear from you, big dog.
Yes, sir. This weekend was super powerful. I loved it. It was amazing. And it was just what I mainly took away from it. First, my action is staying consistent. And if you guys don't really know, like, I've been living at mom's house and stuff like that. And so we're moving now, and I'm able to control my space a little bit more. And that's something that I'm really looking forward to, because there were external things that would just throw me off of consistency. And now that I'm in this space where I can control a lot of the environment and control a lot of the external, I'm super looking forward to it. Like the Kenny's to do, done, and need to do, like that 3 breakdown, that's something that I'm really looking forward to, writing down everything that I'm like, marketing, how am I doing it, like this, and this, and then staying with the level of accountability, and connecting with Elias more, because like we'll have times where we'll connect and then I'll fall off and things like that. So staying consistent is one of my big things. But one of the biggest takeaways that I absolutely loved, and if you guys know me, I love this about, and I say this a lot, is where we're at in the space in the industry. It is so dope, because 20 years ago, Omar would have fell out of the industry and people would have been clapping their hands, because he's not in the industry, because he's not getting the support. But right now, in the current space in the industry, people want to love on you. People want to share their gifts. People want to share their strategies. They want to tell you about how you can be successful. In 2008, I'm sure there was a lot of agents that probably could have survived that with a little bit more mentorship, with a little bit more community, like we have every three days a week, getting on these calls, having different mastermind sessions, having different ways of pivoting and telling you, hey, look, I've been through this already. This is what I'm expecting. And that's what I really got from it, was like this industry. And that's how, not saying like Zillow and Redfin leads are bad, because you know me, I've definitely eaten off of them. But when we're talking about like, how do we show our value to the consumer about like what we are as a community of agents, it's going to be based off of how we communicate with each other, the energy that we bring to each other. Because when I can elevate another agent, just like I can elevate, all tides rise with all boats rise with the rising tide. It's like all of us are going to do better because we are in this space where we're sharing, where we're trying to make sure that, you know, that, I don't want to say shitty agent, but that shitty agent that doesn't care about their client is out there with fingers inside their pictures when they're taking pictures and just half-ass putting it on there. Like, we don't need our clients to be with those people. They need to be with us. They need to be with people that want to do well for them and want to see them do well. So that's really what I got, is that I'm so thankful that I'm in this industry right now where I can have a Will share his story, share his testimony. And so many people are being so open. It's like, yo, I got a testimony. I got a story. Like, why can't I'm going to tell this. I'm powered up to tell my testimony of being someone that, you know, first day out of the hospital, I was in a prison because my dad was in prison all my life. Growing up, where I literally I would go to bed and like go under my blanket and there was meth under my blanket because that's where my dad was hiding it. And these things that are our testimonies, that we're able to share these things, and we don't have to say like, oh, professionalism is that I never ever get tired, and professionalism is I'm never ever shaken. Like, no, professionalism is that we are human. And then we're going to bring that to the consumer, and they're going to know that we care about them because we can connect on a human level. We can connect for years and years and years on that human level. So I just love that the energy and the space that the real estate industry is bringing, because it just empowers me, and it literally just like, oh my God, let's go. Like, I'm juiced.
I love you, Jeff. And I appreciate this, man. And, you know, always go back to this. When you say that you have values, when you say you have a purpose, when you say you have a cause, like, right, like that's where you live in. So it's not a struggle every single day. Yeah, we're going to have peaks and lows. We know that. But like, it's not a struggle for me to get to serve because I'm driven by my purpose and I'm living in my purpose. And so a lot of times there's that conflict. What I think about internally, what I'm doing externally. A lot of times it just comes down to discipline. And so, Jeff, I really appreciate saying, Joellen, you had your hand up, and then we're going to move over to Adrian, and then we'll come full circle on this. So I want to share a thought with you.
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback what Jeff's saying, I had a friend in 2019 when I got my real estate license. She was a good friend of mine, and she was a realtor at a local company in Walnut Creek. And I went to one of her open houses, and she had $400 bills laying on the counter. And I said, oh, what's this for? And she's like, I can't tell you. I said, what? You can't tell me? She's like, no, I can't tell you. I pay a lot of money in coaching to get this kind of stuff. I'm her friend, like birthday parties for her, everything. I go home to my husband. I'm like, that's crazy. Just so you know, we're not friends today, because I don't keep those kind of people in my circle.
Do we ever find out what the $400 bills were for?
No. And I don't even care. I'm like, you know what? I don't even think she's doing good today, but you know what? Bless her heart, because I know that, yeah. You know, and to think that people might still be doing that today blows my mind.
Totally. Yeah, totally blows my mind. Erin, you had your hand up. Something else you want to contribute?
Yes, I just wanted to add, like what Jeff is saying, add to that EXP, and I'm sure Team Fast, like everyone at EXP, when you go to these big events, you realize that we're all there to help each other, and they are so helpful and always willing to, when you hear these mega speakers, big brokerages that come over, bring over 800 people, 900 people, like Chuck Fazio, like they're always willing to help us. So even if we're just here right now, like they're all willing to help us all elevate. So that's one of the things I really love about this company. And I can see that in Team Fast. I think that the girls and I, my business partners and I, when we decided to make this move, that was one of the things that really drove home to us, that you guys are about community and collaboration, and we don't keep things from each other.
Love it. I love it. Adrian, let's hear from you. I love that you went you know, to straight from Dallas right out to Santa Cruz, and you're a woman on a mission. So what were some of your key takeaways from this last week? And what are you going to take action on?
It was just a really, really great week. Just a lot of bombshells for me. I went to Dallas on my own. I mean, my husband was there, so we made it a mini vacation. Yeah, I love Texas. But yeah, it was, I was vulnerable. I went there alone. Erin did invite me, but I was in a different section. So I didn't see her at all the whole time. But I did meet new agents. I met different people, and it was just nice because they shared with me. I mean, they saw that I was alone, and they just kind of, you know, took me under their wing. I met one person who shared her pizza with me. I met two other agents from Union City who previously I knew from another brokerage, but they recognized me right away and was like, hey, come sit with me. You know, and what I'm learning is just to be myself. I mean, I've been in sales since out of college, and I pretty much have been a top producer in every job that I've had. So when I think about what I've done in the past, is I do show up. I am coachable. I am vulnerable. People relate to me because I'm not perfect. I do like to share some of my experiences. I mean, when I did share that I was going through my dad's, you know, death, there was other stuff that happened to me after that as well that tore me apart. And some of you that are on the team know about this because I shared it with you. And it was just nice to hear from some people that, you know, by me being vulnerable, it helped them in their business.
Yeah.
So, you know, I want to bond with people. I don't want to just, you know, build my database, but I actually want to build bonds with people. And it could be, if you like, I don't know, if you message anyone that's on my Instagram or who I'm friends with on Facebook, they will probably tell you that I am pretty vulnerable, and you know, I'm 100% real. So I think that's my superpower.
Heck yeah, it is. I love this. I love it. You guys, as we wrap up this conversation, I want to share some sentiment. Oh, before I share, Cam, did you have something?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to backpack really quick off what Jeff said about professionalism is being human. I didn't get to make it to the Elevate session this weekend, and I would have loved to. I was hosting an open house, and I had a really interesting first experience. The seller came into the home pretending to be a buyer to kind of probably test me. And, you know, I had my Prosecco out, I had cookies, I dressed nicely, everything, you know. There was probably 4 people in the building or in the house. And she ended up calling her agent later and telling them that I was not professional because of my nose ring and because of the way that I had dressed, which was really tough for me. But I ended up canceling that open house the next day. And I realized that even within the industry, there are people who aren't going to have your back, like the agent, and that it's okay to kind of block relationships with other agents if it's not good for you. And so what that allowed me to do is go to a showing in San Francisco the next day. I got to help one of my clients demo her house, and I had a much better day. Yes, it was not a Team Fast agent. Know that nobody from this team I would ever expect to do that. But it was a weird experience, but it was one of those things where I took the initiative. I called the agent on the sign. I was like, hey, I want to set this up. And I just kept having to remind myself that who I am is perfectly fine. And I am professional and exactly how I am. And I'm going to be able to take that to any other open house that I go to, and people will appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't even want to share the text messages I sent to her, because I was like, yeah, I was pissed off. I was like, wait a minute. Like, I was like, but I'm like, one less pretentious person that she has to have in her life, and she could focus on the real ones in her life. I'm like, he doesn't deserve her to do her open house. But I want to share something with you guys. In January of 2020, I may have had, I don't know, 20 followers at that time. And I want to share this with you, because when we were in the room on Saturday, and for the people that were there at Elevate, thank you for making us feel so comfortable. When we hit the stage, it was like the energy was decent, but then when we hit the stage, like our team, there was 30 people there. So you hear people clapping and yelling and you know, being fast, and they're all right. But I think, yeah, loudest team out there. I think back, like, I didn't have many followers. I didn't have any videos. I didn't know anybody that was in that room except for maybe Kenny and one or two other people in that room. All those people, 2 years ago, whatever, January 2020, what is it? All those people were still strangers to me, and now they're not. And then they've followed our journey. They've seen what we've done because we've documented and let people into our world. Keep It Moving coaching wasn't a thing. I wasn't a coach. All these things that have happened in just a couple short years, right? So I was a complete stranger to all those people. And to go there and be able to speak in front of them, like, that's humbling to me, you guys. So it's just like, you don't know what's going to happen over the next 2 years. But what I do know is that if you work your ass off now, if you stay committed, if you do the small things, right, then maybe someone's going to show up and say, hey, I need you to sell this portfolio of homes. Hey, I want to use you as my agent. All these things will start to develop, because it's happened in my career. These things started to develop, and I never thought about it. I said, I'm going to put my head down. I'm going to work my ass off for this company. And by doing so, all these things have started to open up for me. So you guys, I was a stranger 2 years ago to these people. I didn't know you guys. I didn't know Aaron Grace. I didn't know the team. I didn't know John Cheplak. I didn't know Dan Beer. I just worked my ass off, and I'm growing and continue to grow. So you guys, humble beginnings, right? Humble beginnings. And we had so much fun. And you know, we just talked about you guys. You guys. That's all we talked about. Yeah, we have some strategies, what we're doing behind the scenes, but it was all about how we try to make their life a little bit easier. And we're not perfect. We're never going to be perfect. So you guys, run towards accountability. If you guys are just in a position to say, you know what, I just want a little bit more accountability. I'm here to help. I'm here to serve. There's people on this team right now that are down to probably hop on a accountability group with you. I'm sure there's people that want to get together and be like, hey, let's just break bread. Let's practice our scripts. Let's do what Maria's doing in the office. Let's come together. If you guys see script role-playing sessions on the calendar, highly encourage you to go to those. I don't care how far in the game you are. If Brian Denny in San Diego can do it, and he's $100 million producer, he does that every single week. There's no reason why you guys can't do that or shouldn't do that. So I want this next 90 days to be about, you know what, I'm going to really take some action on my business. I'm going to do things differently. November 27th is right around the corner, you guys. I want you to truly have a great holiday season. What about CRM Bootcamp? Thank you. CRM Bootcamp starts this Thursday. An email is going out today at 9:31. That email is going to have all the details, the list of what's going to happen. We're also giving away some prizes for the top point earners for that event. We're going to give away a 2-day trip to Napa. We're giving away $1,000 towards marketing expenses. We're also giving away an Envision Media video so you can create something. But this is all about accountability. This is all about mastering your CRM, mastering your Real Scout, and it's going to be a 30-day sprint. It starts on September 1st, and then we're going to meet every single Monday after that. And on the last one, we'll do that session in person. But for the people that cannot come, we'll still do a hybrid, so you can still hear from Roxanne. On that last session, Roxanne will talk about how she's truly leveraged her CRM to build the best relationships and stay in best contact with her consumers. So you guys, that starts this week. Like I said, at 9:31, you guys are going to see that email. I already have it timed in Mixmax to go out at 9:31. That will hit your inbox. All you have to do is click the link in the email to sign up. and we are going to let everyone obviously know. There'll be more correspondence. I'll put it on the team calendar. That way you just log into that event. But yeah, it's going to be a 30-day sprint. And I definitely think that we're going to come out of that way better. We're going to come out of it masters at our CRM, and we're going to find new opportunities. Remember, you guys, 24 touch points per each client. And I promise you, most of us are falling short of that number. So what I want to do is I want to do what the best of the best are doing. I want to be the #1 in units for the entire state of California. So let's just do what they're doing and deploy the things that are already working for these big teams. I'd like to hold a 6:30 a.m. skin of the game accountability call. Cool. Joe Allen, put an email together to the team or put it in Slack. I'm sure there's people on this call that would be down to join that. And I love that because it holds you accountable. I have to be up early in order to be ready for this call because I can't just roll out of bed at 8 o'clock and think I'm going to put some notes together and I'm going to be ready to go. I'm not. So I always have to show up. You guys help me hold myself accountable. So look, you already got people, they're saying I'm down. So you guys connect with Joe Allen. Joe Allen put more information about this in the Slack, but you guys go out there, have some fun, own your week, own your day. And if you need anything from me at all, I'm here for you guys. Run towards accountability. Don't run away from it. If there's something that you need, ask me. Get on my calendar. I'm an open book, you guys. I'm here to make sure that everyone is evolving and elevating in our space. So I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I respect you guys. And I'm truly filled with tons and tons of gratitude for my life and for our business. So let's go out there and own our week. If you need anything, I'm here for you guys. Have a wonderful day. Peace.
Thank you.